Welcome back, everybody. So today's going to be a slightly different video. So we've got the 2024 Camaro SS, well, 2SS, 1LE. It's an SS 1LE, doesn't make a difference. And I've actually had another camera sitting aside, kind of waiting for this car to get here. An Insta360 X3. So I've already got the suction cup mount, I've got the invisible pole and everything else, but obviously up until this point I didn't have the car to test it out. Now I do. Today's the day. We're gonna test this camera out, see how it works. I've also got a microphone sticking out the back of the car right here, hooked up to my DJI mic, so we'll be able to get some really good audio of this car. I've got a couple errands I've got to run. Have to go check on a house that's being constructed up the street, possibly get gas, because as we know, this car sucks gas. Tank normally lasts me a few days. I think I'm at a quarter tank right now, and I filled up 2 or 3 days ago. It does get decent mileage, though. I'm averaging around 16.5 miles per gallon, which is just about what I was getting, if not as good as I was getting with the Grand Cherokee L that I had prior to this. So let's go ahead, hit the road, test this camera out, see how it looks. I've used it a couple times in other scenarios, but we'll see how it looks. A little bit of a detail here. So we have the Insta360 X3. This is the Insta360 invisible pole. And then the suction cup mount, which I got off Amazon. I think the camera was about $500 or $600. I don't remember. It came with the pole, and the mount itself was about $150, $160. Wasn't too bad, but it is definitely a solid mount. I don't think this is going anywhere. Funny enough, I've seen a couple other cars in the area running around with the same mount. So I've got some trust in this. I don't really think it's gonna fall off. We also have the lens protectors on the Insta360 and a screen protector on it as well. But let's go ahead, hit the road, see how this camera looks. Gonna look a little weird with a reverse unicorn look driving around town, but I'm sure the videos are gonna be awesome. As I mentioned, I need to go check on a couple houses, customers' houses that are being built. One of them is right up the street. Last I checked, the roof was being installed. I wanna see if the shingles are up yet. So we're gonna head there. Like I said, need gas and have a couple other things I've gotta do. And later on today, I've actually got a couple cleaning products to test out. We'll see how they work, and I'll report back. Had to grab the essentials. So camera bag, it's got my other batteries, drone bag. So I'm a real estate agent here in Orlando, and that's kind of why my customers like me, is because throughout the construction process, I'm constantly giving them updates. Drone photos, I document the whole process. I like being able to document from slab all the way up. So from slab to block, they pour the lintels, the roof goes on, and then we start doing video from the inside, which is how I got into this. So, like I said, I'm gonna hit the road, check out that house, see what else we can get ourselves into. So, do this, open this. I don't want it to hit the camera. Reach in, got the microphone, hit record. Good there, good there. Turn this on. It starts up pretty quick. You literally hit it once. Starts up. And record. So now we got that. That's rolling. Give it something to line the videos up with, because we've got to document this cold start. All right, hop in. I wish I could push this out of the garage before I start it. That way we get a better sound, but we're gonna do it. Here we go, cold start. So just in case anyone's wondering, with the rear view camera, that is what it looks like all mounted up. So it is in the way, not horrible. But anyways, let's hit the road. So we're gonna start with some light driving for now. Like I said, the car's not completely heated up yet, so I don't want to go too crazy on it. The house that we're checking up on is only a few miles up the road. By the time we get there, we'll be ready to rock. About halfway there already. Told you it was going to be a quick trip, but it looks like we are good to go. All right, we are here parked up. Turned to the car off really quick. So I'm not going to go inside the neighborhood because there's a lot of construction going on, and I don't really want to get another screw in a tire. If you didn't see, I got a screw in the tire of this car with 250 miles on it. Thankfully, when I purchased the car, I also purchased, I think it was like $600, and I got a wheel and tire protection plan. That way, you know, flat tire, they replace the tire. Bent wheel, they replace the wheel. Not my problem. But I'm going to really quick whip the drone out, just fly over to the house, take a couple pictures. We'll be off to the next task. I'm probably going to need to get gas, so I think we'll probably hit the back roads on the way there. That way we can get a little bit of fun driving in. So we are done there. Here's your microphone. I've actually got the receiver right here, which you can see the audio levels as I'm talking. So let me go ahead and close the trunk. Make sure it's got some give. Come back over here. It's gonna wake back up. And we are recording. Off to the next half of our journey for today. So for anybody that didn't know, Insta360 actually has a really cool app. You can connect the app, you'll be able to see the live feed from the camera. We don't have time, so I'm not gonna show you the app right now, but we will keep going. hard to drive a manual car while holding a camera in one hand, trying to shift, steer with the other. So I might have to put the camera down just for this part of the drive, and then we will pick back up when I'm in a little bit more of an easier driving situation. All right, at the gas station, let's go ahead, turn it off. Come back over here and turn this camera off. I think we're good for now. And turn our mic off. Gas is actually kind of cheap today, $3.92. I think the last time I bought gas, it was like $4 something. I'm gonna say it's gonna take $50 to fill this up. I'm not like completely empty, but it's normally 50 to 60. Yeah, it's normally 60 if I'm like under a quarter. I guess we'll be able to tell in a couple of minutes. And the damage is, we'll check this out. $49.95, 12.7 gallons, 50 on the dot. All right, starting off on a full tank. Unfortunately, that won't last long. I think the next thing I'm gonna have to do, I'd like to get a couple other cameras, like a GoPro, but I might have to get a camera that I can mount on the windscreen, because this camera's like super tall and there's no real way for me to mount it there without it sliding everywhere. Like right now it's just kind of sitting on the dash, but it works for now. It's a good camera. Station, there was a C8 Corvette and a McLaren. It looked like a 570, but they went the other way, so no friends today. By the way, so when I'm driving around, I like to keep my dash in this section right here. We know this car is not like crazy on gas, but I do like to have an idea of what I'm getting, and honestly, it's not that bad. On the highway, I can average above 25, and this is a manual car, so they don't have the cylinder shutdown. Typically when I'm driving around, I'm not going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A lot of times, just like I just did, I go 1, 3, 5. Or honestly, the 1 to 4 skip shift isn't really that bad. I know a lot of people complain about it, but that's kind of how I drove anyways. For the most part, I don't go through all the gears every time I take off. Typically I skip, because there's really no reason. If I'm just cruising around, I'll either go from 1 straight to 3 or 1 straight to 4. I'm gonna put the skip shift on here because I don't want the car telling me when I need to go. You know, I don't like how it locks me out, but I still do it. I still go from 1 to 4. It's just nice having the option to not. You know, if I do want to go from 1 to 3, I can. So, and the skip shift is pretty inexpensive. I think on Amazon they're like $15, and then on some of the other websites they're like $40. So really, really inexpensive. It's definitely the next one of the next couple mods I want to do. I did this morning go ahead and order the hardwire kit for the radar detector. So I'm going to start there, and then in a couple days here, go ahead and order the hard mount kit from Blend Mounts, which is the company that I've used several times. I highly recommend them. Obviously, there's companies online that you could order these mount kits for that mount to your rearview mirror. But to be honest, Blend Mounts is like top dog. They're very, very nice mounts. Never ever have I had an issue with any of the mounts that I've bought. And like I said, I've owned 3 or 4 of them in the last few cars that I've had. So ordering that in the next day or so, most likely. Hopefully the hard wire kit is here end of week. Can't really guarantee it, but I did get it with the extra leads. That way I can wire up my dash camera as well without having to run a second cable and finding somewhere under the dash to tie into. So that's super convenient. I'm happy they had that as an option. Thank you, Gen 5 DIY, for offering that. You definitely saved me some time, some headache, and the possibility of screwing up my car. So I appreciate you. And just so you guys know, any of you guys that have a 6th gen Camaro, if you call Gen 5 DIY, there's one person that answers the phone. Any questions you have, he'll answer them. I actually called this morning because I wasn't sure how the wire works for the extra leads, and I told him, well, my plan is to hook up my dash camera to it, and he said, okay, well, you'll need to get a power inverter. They're a dime a dozen. You can get them on Amazon. You need a 12 volt to 5 volt power converter, and you'll be, set. So that's another thing I got to order. Thankfully, that's only like $12, so it's not that big of an issue. The mount for this car, because it's a specialty mount, is like $250. And then from Gen 5 DIY, the hardwire kit for the radar with the extra leads, I think without it was like 80 something, with it was 95, I believe. But to be honest, it's worth it. The last couple cars I got lucky and I was able to just tap into the back of the mirror, but we tried doing that with this car. It doesn't work. Obviously somebody figured it out, and I'm more than willing to pay them to make my life a little bit easier, not having to deal with all the wiring and stuff. The last thing I want to do is mess up a car that's got 600 miles on it. We are almost home now. Let's get this car back in the garage. Later this afternoon, we will go ahead and I want to wash the car. I know it's supposed to rain here for the next couple of days, but I bought some cleaning supplies a couple of days ago, and I haven't had the chance to test them out. So later on this afternoon, I'm going to wash the car. It is a little bit dirty, but it's not like crazy. Brake dust is pretty bad, but I got a new brush. I got some interior brushes. I got one of those giant drying towels. I've been using a leaf blower, and I probably still will use the leaf blower, but having that large drying cloth should make it super, super easy. Did you guys think that Kia was racing? Because I absolutely did. He didn't want it, though. We're back in the garage. I like my cars tinted dark. I think in one of my videos I mentioned these windows, along with the small back windows and the back window, are tinted at 5%, and the windshield is tinted at 50. That is just kind of to cut some of the heat from coming in the car. I don't really want people looking in the car, and I don't know, it's just weird. I don't like people seeing what I'm doing. Not in the car. Just a example. To be honest, it's really not that bad. I mean, I don't have problems driving at night. You cannot tell that this windshield is tinted when you're driving around. You just can't see as well into the car through the windshield as if it wasn't tinted. And then with these windows, you're really not, you're not seeing in. You might be able to see like figures, shadows basically, but you're not going to be able to identify a person from these windows. But you see here, you really can't even tell. It's not that bad. If I pan over, you can see there's a clear difference between the windows. And then when I pop the door, obviously you can see how dark that window is. But like I said, I like my windows dark. To each his own. We are home for the last time. We are going to go ahead and shut this off. Pop the trunk. Turn the microphone off and call it a wrap for now. I'm gonna go inside, get some work done. Next time you see me, we will be washing the car, testing a couple of those new products out. So I'm gonna go inside, get some work done, and I'll see you then. Alrighty, welcome back. Welcome to the next day. So by the time I was able to wash my car last night, the weather had kind of let loose and started raining, and it has been raining on and off since then. So we do have a gap in the rain right now. So I think what we'll do is head out here and give the car a quick wash, test out some of those products prior to it's possibly raining again. So let's go ahead, pull the car out, get it clean, test out some of those products I was talking about. First product that I wanted to test out, Chemical Guys has what they call the Big Noodle. It's a oversized wash mitt, and it has these like big noodles. So we'll go ahead and give that a try. The next product that I bought that day is another Chemical Guys product. This one is the Speed Mammoth, and it is a large drying cloth. Typically, I use a leaf blower and then just normal microfibers to dry my car off. But today, we are going to try this oversized drying cloth, along with a couple different brushes, a brush specifically for the wheels, because the wheels are kind of a pain to clean sometimes. I have the wheel woolies to clean the inside of the wheel, but can't really use them on the outside. It doesn't really work as well. So bought that, bought a couple other brushes for the inside just to really kind of deep clean and get the grit and crap that flies into the car while I'm driving with the windows down. So let's go ahead and pull the car out, give it a wash, see how all this works. So far, looking good. So what we're gonna do now is take the Chemical Guys drying towel, test it out. Start on the hood here first. See how it works, one swipe. What we'll do is we'll lay it on top, push down, just drag it across. It actually works quite well. So that time I didn't even press down, just dragging it. That is much easier. So rear quarter, same thing. Just gonna take it, drag it across. That works very well. So first off, the Big Noodle from Chemical Guys. My thoughts. I actually really like this. The reason being is obviously it's oversized, and I feel like it holds a lot of water, which is great because you're not having to constantly go back and forth to the bucket. Obviously you use a 2-bucket method, you're gonna rinse, soap, repeat, but at least with this, you're not having to constantly go back and re-soap because you're running out of water. If you really wanted to, probably do better than half of this car before you actually had to go back and dunk this back in the bucket to get more water and soap. Really like it, worked well. About all I have to say. Now on to the next thing, the Chemical Guys Speed Mammoth drying towel. So this is a, I think it was like a 30 by 20, 25 or 26. It's a pretty decent sized towel. And what I liked about it is I feel like you really minimize the risk of scratching your paint when you're not taking multiple swipes at the paint. Obviously the paint's clean, but everything is going to leave some kind of micro scratch. Obviously at some point I would like to ditch the leaf blower and get a blower like an Air Force Master Blaster or something with a little bit more power. But until then, this will do. Regardless of whether I have the Master Blaster or not, I will probably always use this towel. I just really like the way it works. And it's nice because typically I'm pulling the car into the garage and then blowing it off. So being able to get 80% of the water off the car so I'm not flooding my garage floor with water. With that said, I really like them, and I think they work well. That said, everybody, thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. This has definitely been a little bit more of a talking episode than it has a montage episode. As I get more and more comfortable with the camera, obviously, you'll see more and more of me talking. Until then, guys, see you next time.